So hello and good evening, this is Ruth Pozuelo from Curbal.com, and today we're going to talk about Vertipaq. So what is Vertipaq? Vertipaq is basically the database that runs on top of PowerPivot and Power BI. Okay, so this is where your data is stored, and it is where your model is stored too. And in today's video, we're actually going to focus on what happens when you import data into Power BI. What is Power BI doing? And this is a very, very important topic, because if you run into performance issues, this is basically the things that you need to know to start troubleshooting. There are, of course, 1,000 ways to troubleshoot a model, but this is basically one of them. And we're going to talk specifically about data compression. So how about we start? I'm going to show you what happens when you put in, of course, more things. I'm going to show you when you put in data into Power BI, what are the things that the Vertipaq engine is doing for you to be able to have a fast model. So here we are in the Northwind dataset. This is a sample data from the ordered ID table. I just picked 3 columns so I can be able to explain what's going on. And there is order ID column. We have a product name column and quantity. So very, very easy. And the first thing I want to talk about is how Vertipaq actually compresses text. Text is not a good idea to store as text. It takes too much space. So what Vertipaq does when storing text is to try to find distinct values of the text. And it will create its own table with those distinct values. So it will create an ID column, and then it will create the name column. So it will extract the actual values here. So for example, let's say this gets a 0, this gets a 1, this gets 2, this will be 3, this is again 2, 4, 5, and 2. So what it's basically going to do is a table like this. Okay. And then of course it's going to, once that it has identified, this is what is called a dictionary, and this is why you see in DAX Studio something that is dictionary size. So what it will do is it create a dictionary of the column, and basically it will then put the product IDs in there instead of the actual names. So what it's going to do is this one. It will substitute the names by the IDs, and then it will have a relationship between these two. So when you want to see the data, it won't return the number, it will actually return the text. And this is the most efficient way to store text on a database. And this is what is happening basically. And that is why you see dictionary use everywhere that you're looking at size for columns. So hopefully this explains that. So now that we have done that, we have now a new table stored in Vertipaq. It's going to do a few more things. The next thing it's going to try to do is this that is called value encoding. And what it means is that, for example, in this column, we have 2-digit values. And it's going to basically try to make it into 1 digit, if possible. And how it does it, well, I guess only Microsoft knows, but there are like known techniques to do it. One way could be, for example, find the lowest value, in this case is 24, and then subtract everything from 24. And once you've done that, it will create a new table, which is this one. So 30 minus 24 is 6. And that is 11. So you see what it's doing. And then in case you say, okay, I want to have the quantity back, what it will do is it will add 24 And now he has 1-digit values instead, which is more efficient to store. Again, what techniques it's using, it goes through the data set and it just finds the best way to minimize the number. Happens just with numbers, okay? So you will not see this with text, of course. But it will have different techniques. They know what it is that allows it to compress the data better. The next thing it will do is to do something that is called run length encoding. I thought it was quite fun. So this is what happens. It will go through, if we look here at product ID, it will go through the values. And when it finds 2 consecutive ones, here we have them, it will actually join them. It won't join them exactly. This is what it's going to do. It's going to say, okay, it's going to create a new column, product ID, and then it's going to say, okay, value 0 1 time, value 1 appears 1 time, value 2 appears 2 times, right? Value 3 appears 1 time, value 2 appears 2 times, value 4 1, and value 5 1. And this is what it will store instead. Now think, when you're thinking about this small table, you say like, why are they doing that? Think about millions of rows and how much these could compress data. So it will basically go to this. And to be able to do this, it has to store data in columns. So it won't be able to store it in rows, because to be able to decode this, it has to go like this goes there, and this goes there, and this goes there, and this goes there. So they don't match anymore, the rows, you know. And so everything you see when you import data, what Vertipaq is doing is actually dividing your tables into columns, compressing them, and then, you know, trying to find the relationships between them. And it's doing that to be able to enable for you to make fast queries. And this is why they call it a column database. On the next video, we will talk about what column database is. Of course, column database types are not good just for compression. They're also good for searching data or finding data when there are millions and millions of rows. And we will talk about that in the next video. But for today's video, for the introduction, I think this is perfect, because it becomes so obvious that, you know, you need to storing things in columns to be able to compress them better. And they store them in columns, it is for compression and for efficiency reasons. So now that you know these, go back to the video that I did on Monday, because I think it will make more sense as to why the dictionary size on my page speed side on the Google Analytics report I show you, why it was so slow. Hopefully. Let me know if it makes more sense. Anyhow. So this is how it would look. This is how the data that we started with will look like. Not really, because this, for example, we haven't done any compression yet. But still, you know, you can see that from what we see to how actually the Vertipaq engine sees the data, there's a huge difference. And when you're making DAX queries, how Vertipaq sees engine has an impact on how we should write our queries too. But as a start, I think this is a good start. Let's go to the video Monday, check it out, and leave me your questions if you have any. If you enjoyed this video, if you want me to continue the Vertipaq series, just let me know by liking it. Share it if you know somebody that would like to know. New to the channel, I publish Power BI videos 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, often, most of the time. and subscribe. Okay, and click the bell to receive notifications also. I shouldn't forget that. Okay, but have a great day. Bye.